What's up, magical people? Welcome back to your most magical life. I'm Mia Magik. Today we're talking about why spiritual people should be wealthy. This is one of my absolute favorite topics. I get questions about this all the time because I went from being a totally broke spiritual glow-mad or nomad, aka homeless, to making a shitload of money and feeling super abundant, not just in my financial freedom and reality, but also in just how I live my life. So I have a super special, absolutely epic, amazing, my lowest cost offering ever that I've ever put out there, a new money, magic, and abundance ritual spell that is super powerful, loaded with the practices that I have used to transform my life. Ancient wisdom, modern manifestation, so juicy. Click the link below if you are looking for some serious money magic in your life. Now, why is it so important for spiritual people to have money? Because spiritual people, hopefully, there's plenty that are not doing this, but will make more conscious choices. They will have a greater, deeper awareness of what is important to provide for, to protect, to care for, to encourage, and to support and to sustain in the world. They will make better choices around like the types of fabrics that they're wearing. Like everything that I get is secondhand because I just love doing that because it makes me feel great to like have this beautiful cashmere shawl that like I didn't have to kill these beautiful little Mongolian lambs is the type of fur this is. Same with my pillows. I got those at a house sale from a dope sister who was getting rid of a bunch of things. And I was like, oh, I need those pillows. Same with my sheepskins, same with my velvet pillows, everything. Like I love to get my things secondhand because that is a choice that for me, even as a very wealthy, abundant witch and person, thank you, goddess, again, so much for this transformation of my life. Hallelujah. It actually makes me feel even more abundant to know that I can make the kind of choices, I can take the time, I can utilize my resources to receive or create like what I desire with things that already exist on the planet. I don't need more stuff. You think about one Home Depot and the amount of shit that's in there that will like never decompose and biodegrade on this planet. And then there's like millions of Home Depots or Bed Bath & Beyonds or Ikeas or all of those crazy places. Like I don't support those stores because that does not feel abundant to me. That feels like scarcity because of the way that the earth is being treated by the companies that create the stuff that goes into those places. So these are really important tidbits and tools to look at. Why do spiritual people need money? Because look at the way that the rulers of the planet are handling their resources. They rape and pillage and disempower and take advantage of people, the earth, waters, wind and air, the plants and the trees. Like it's rampant. Our pilfering of this planet for the name of, or in the name of greed and like money, that is scarcity. That's scarcity. So that's why I love to operate in the way that makes me feel abundant. Like some people might be like, oh, secondhand, but it makes me feel abundant because I know I'm caring for the earth. And the earth is the epitomic expression of abundance. Mother Nature is the ultimate illustration of abundance. She doesn't blame herself when she goes into her, dormant, dark, wintry moments where she's not producing or creating anything. She like takes a rest. She's good. She knows she's preparing for springtime. Then she blossoms. Then there's more fruit. Then we've got the harvest and all the gourds and all the beautiful little things in the fall and the autumn. And then she goes back again. Over and over and over again. She doesn't worry about the hundreds of millions of acorns that she drops from her trees. She knows that as they decompose and become part of the soil again, that they will feed and fuel her future and the generations that come. This is a topic that I am so passionate about because, again, I used to be one of those spiritual people that sort of was like against money or didn't feel like I wanted it, or I just was like, kind of avoidant of it. I wouldn't like deal with finances. I just didn't really care. I was, getting by, literally like scraping by, like sleeping on my friends' couches and having absolutely no access to like the kind of resources that would allow me to feel really safe and secure and stable. And I still managed to find myself in a lot of moments in a really abundant state. Again, because money is not the only signal or marker of abundance. So one of the things that I really want to drill home for those of you that are having trouble like accessing or actualizing money in your life is that one of the biggest blocks that spiritual people have is not seeing all the other forms of abundance. Abundance is a conscious vibration in the universe, the same as peace, the same as love, joy. Like these are alive vibrations. These are emanations of energy in our universe, and abundance is the same. So abundance is having an amazing partner who loves you. Abundance is having incredible friends. Abundance is being able, like my house has this incredible view. I can just like look out on the Rocky Mountains right now. That's abundance. There's so many different frequencies and expressions of that vibration of abundance. And when we can give ourselves permission to access them and understand and appreciate them, that they are part of abundance, not just money and not just like the number in our bank account making us abundant or not, that is when we then attune to and align with that conscious vibration. And we can then generate more abundance in our lives in other ways that we would like, whether that's, some of us really want more community, some of us want more money. It just depends. This is why we use the word appreciation to talk about investments as they grow, and why everyone, the Deepak Chopras, all the big people talk about the importance of gratitude and like, oh, just be grateful for everything you have. Like, it's not necessarily about like, oh, you should just suck it up and appreciate what you've got because, you're not worthy of asking for more. No, you can ask for whatever you want. Like I like to think of it as the cosmic waitress, right? When you're at a restaurant, you like choose what you want and you put your order in with the waitress. And like, sometimes it might get a little bit fucked up. There might be something different. There might be a fire in the kitchen. She might get delayed. She might not pay attention to you the whole time. But you know that before you walk out of that place, you're going to get your order. You're going to get what you asked for, what you wanted in some form or another, right? You might have to adjust your expectations. They might be like, oh, I'm out of avocados. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, I thought I was going to get avocado toast. And they're like, actually, well, we can do this other thing. And you're like, okay, great. But the vibration of appreciation in that cosmic waitress scenario is that gratitude, what it really is about is that energy that it sends out, the conscious vibration of gratitude, means that you have enough. And so when we're operating from a state of enoughness, right? Or like appreciation, again, that growth of things, when they appreciate, they grow, they expand, they get bigger, they get better. When you're operating from gratitude and appreciating whatever you have, you are not emanating an energy of scarcity. Oh, my little kitty, yeah. That's abundance too, right? Like having the love of our pets and our animals. Like there's so many different expressions of appreciation. I just love my kitties so much. They're sitting here. They always love while I'm working and like leading people through magical things. They're witch cats. So gratitude does not imply, oh, I shouldn't ask for anything more. Like I guess I'll just be grateful for what I've got. No, that's not the case. Gratitude is saying, thank you for what I have. Thank you for this roof over my head. Thank you for the fact that I can watch this YouTube video. Thank you for the fact that I have a phone or have a laptop or have an iPad. Thank you for the fact that I have internet or phone service, whatever it is. Those things then imply to the universe, oh, wow, I'm operating from this state of abundance, this energy of I have enough. Because when we're operating from scarcity, when we're like, oh my God, like I really need money. Like I have this one student right now who is really in a victim mentality around money. We all have our moments and we all have the things that like drag us down and that we have a hard time escaping. But money is not meant to be a cage. It's not meant to be a prison. Money is one currency. I talk about this all the time. This is like all over the abundance ritual about water, because we use water words to describe abundance or financial resources all the time. Liquid assets, cash flow, streams of income, right? Like you freeze your assets. Even money is called currency. It's the current, right? So we use all of these water words. Again, water is free flowing. Water will find its way around any obstacle. It will seep itself out in some way, or it will adjust. I don't like to use the word yield, but it will accommodate, it will acclimate itself to the container that it's in. And water wants to be free to flow. If we leave water somewhere, right, it becomes stagnant. The same goes for money. It wants to flow. And that's why aligned spending is one of the most important pillars that I use in my life to generate more abundance. Aligned spending comes from abundance. It comes from appreciation. It comes from gratitude. It doesn't come from scarcity. Like when I was young, I used to have this crazy shopping addiction, and I would go out whenever I felt sad and I would try and shop and like buy something that I was going to look hot in or that was going to like make me feel better. And it was crazy. I would either like fill my closet with things that still had tags on them that I never wore, or like then when I got a big house, it was like home decor stuff. And it was really, really sad actually. And a dear sister of mine was the one who reflected it to me, and she was like, you just keep going out to like try and fill, but like there's an emptiness inside of you that you need to look at. Like you need to check yourself on this. And I was like, oh fuck, she's totally right. So when you're buying something from the energy of, wow, I love this thing. It makes me feel so good and abundant and so beautiful. Like I'm so inspired by this. I feel turned on and activated. Most of the time, those things are not things. They're experiences, their trips, their workshops, their coaching containers. Like that's the kind of aligned spending. Like especially, we talk about this a lot in Witchy Rich. I have a whole section on credit cards and making credit cards work for you, because I really fucking love credit cards. Only if you can keep a handle on yourself and not generate debt that is out of alignment with the life that you're achieving. So like when I hired my first coach, I put 10 grand on a credit card. I had like $200 in my bank account, and I was able to have my own first $10,000 client just 2 months after I finished that 3-month container. So it was like 4.5 months later, I signed my first $10,000 client, because I said to the universe, hey, I'm going to put this 10 grand on this credit card. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. I believe I'm worthy of it. This is a huge piece, y'all, a huge, huge piece for spiritual people. When you spend money on something from the energy of abundance, right? Not like voraciously filling your closet with clothes, but when you spend something that is an investment in who you are, in your growth, in your transformation, right? That hummus, like letting things fall away so that you can grow, so that you can thrive, so that you can bloom and blossom. You're sending a message to that cosmic waitress, to the universe, that says, I'm worth this $10,000. I'm worth this investment. I'm worth this time, effort, and energy that I'm going to put forth because of this investment, right? And that's another big thing that's super important, is that we are always reflecting. Everything is a reflection. My book, Intuition, that comes out in January of 2024 with Hay House, is all about the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. Everything is always a reflection. So if you are saying to the universe, I am going to put these resources, right? Like this is how I thought about it with coaching, and what I say to every person who's wanting to come and coach with me, because my coaching is very expensive. It's a high ticket product because it's going to change your fucking life. And I do that because I know that oftentimes we have to make an investment that stretches us in order to commit to the effort. You know how many times I've bought an online course that was like, I don't know, $1,000 or something that didn't like break the bank or freak me out. And then I never even opened a single video. That's like a epidemic in the online course world. You know, sometimes those of us who just keep loving to learn, you know, we do things like that. But I know, and I say this to every single one of my clients, the investment that you are making when you are sending that money out, you're not just sending it to me. Like, yes, I receive it, but because this is all an illusion, we're living in a holographic reality. And I highly recommend everyone reading Busting Loose from the Money Game. That is like #1 recommended reading in Witchy Rich, my money manifestation program that's much deeper and longer. Every time I tell people to read that, because when you are expressing to the universe, I'm worth this to $10,000. It's not about the 10 grand being paid to someone, right? Like as a coach, it's not about you giving the money to me. It's about me holding the energy of you maintaining the awareness and the commitment and the devotion to your worthiness and to your reflection of value that is that $10,000. Does that make sense? So when you put 10 grand into something, into a training, into a coaching program, into your master's degree, whatever it is, you're saying, I am that value. I am that $10,000. And the coaching is not about the 1 hour a week that you do coaching with me or with anyone else. It's about what do you do with your other hours? Do you follow the guidance? Are you living in alignment with the teachings, with the new awareness, with the epiphanies that you're receiving in the coaching? That's why you have to make an investment for coaching, because it's not about that 1 hour. You can sit and be therapized or receive like guided meditations or like get a big kick in the ass and like a freight train reflection, like, hey, you need to pay attention to this. But if you don't do anything about it, if you don't integrate it into your practice and into your life, then like that investment is wasted, and it's your responsibility whether it is or isn't. So that is how aligned spending invites us forward. Like, can I receive the reflection that I am the value of this thing, that I am projecting into the universe? I am saying I am worth this, I am valuable, I am important, I am worthy of this time, effort, energy, and investment. And how do I then allow that worthiness to show up in my embodied reality? And that's a really important thing too, is that people say, we should be humble, like humble yourself to God or humble yourself to, someone else or whatever. I don't believe in that. Humility is one of the words that has been turned against us. We are not meant to be small. The word hummus, not the chickpea paste, but with one M, where humility comes from, is in Latin. Humus is the alchemical process of creating black gold in the forest floor, letting everything fall and die away, everything drop down, releasing the leaves, releasing what's old, releasing what's complete, and knowing that as it falls, as it composts, as it regenerates, really like completely falls apart. It's alchemy. That soil, that rich forest floor soil, that is the hummus. That is our humility, knowing that we are alchemists, knowing that that which we allow to fall away is what then feeds and fuels our growth in the future. That is some fucking humility. It's not shrinking to anyone. It's knowing that the more you let fall away and die, that no longer serves you, that you don't need anymore, the higher you'll rise, the more you'll grow. And another piece that's really important is, putting money in like a checking account, which like I'm so guilty of, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in my checking account. It's so silly. But so do as I say, not as I do. No, I have like a bunch of money invested, but I also just have so much sitting in my checking account. That's just outrageous. But one of the things that I love to do is invest in aligned companies. Now, this is something where, like the stock market, I don't trust it as much. Like I've got a bunch of money in stocks and like sometimes it grows and most of the time it shrinks. And this is a horrible time to have money in the stock market, like whatever. I don't really do the crypto thing because I made one investment that just like tanked immediately and I like lost a bunch of money and it was so annoying. But something that I really love to do is invest in aligned companies. So my personal favorite investment that I've made is in a mushroom diaper company with Miki Agrawal, the founder of Thinx, the period underwear. She's got a new company called Hero Diapers that is literally using mushrooms. I cried when she told me the idea because this is like one of the things that when they say like, oh, if you had $100 million, what would you do? And I'm like, I would use mushrooms to eat all the plastic on the planet. And then she told me that she was making a diaper where you put a little mushroom capsule into the baby poop. And then the baby poop, which is just like made from breast milk, right? So it's like also, black gold. And the baby poop then fertilizes the mushrooms. The mushrooms first eat the diaper, then they eat anything else in the trash bag with the diaper, then they eat the trash bag itself, and then they start eating into the landfill. And that process can happen in as little as 6 months. I was like, girl, take my money, please. Like, let me give you some money. Now that kind of investment, 25, 50, 100 grand, like whatever you have to put into it, whatever like their minimum, I think their minimum was 25,000 for that kind of company on the friends and family round. Like, when you put that kind of money in, you have to know that like you're not going to get it back for a while, right? So her last company sold for $200 million. Whatever that percentage that I get, it might be that money that I put in back, a year or two ago, that is going to take me like 10 years, but it is very likely going to like 100x. And I'm going to make a couple $1 million from that investment just from putting that in like back then. Now that return is way bigger than I would ever get from the stock market, unless I hit it big and like bought Apple or Tesla, like at the very beginning, something like that, So investing, my wealth manager says, putting your money in a checking account is like planting a house plant. It's like a potted plant. It's going to just grow there. It's like in your house. You've got it. Cool. He's like, but investing is like growing a forest. And I was like, bro, you're speaking my language right now. Like, I've got a conscious wealth manager. Thank the goddess. So he knew how to speak the language to me, and it really worked. So really, the most important thing, again, that I want to drill home is that spiritual people do deserve wealth. We deserve to have money because we have to make different choices. We cannot be the same as the muggles, just buying everything from Amazon and like cheap plastic shit that's made in like horrible sweatshops and factories where like they're taking advantage of children in third world countries. We cannot do that. When we're like, oh, I just got this easy thing from Amazon, like no problem. Oh my God, it's like 20 bucks. Do you understand the implication of why that thing is so cheap and can arrive at your house within hours? It's scarcity. It's because our capitalist system, which, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a capitalist. I love money. I love being able to fly and adventure and see the world and live in a beautiful home and get flowers from farmers and like support artists and, like buy things secondhand. I love money. I love it because it's one expression of abundance in a very abundant life that I am so blessed to live. So I am a capitalist for sure. However, the most important thing is to recognize that in general, the overarching system of our capitalism is built on scarcity. It's built on making us feel like we're not enough. It's built on making us feel like we'll never be beautiful enough. We need like push-up bras and we need like Botox and fillers and we need like all these makeups and, even the filter thing. Like, I don't use filters for that reason because I don't want to play into that game. This is my real skin. I don't have a single stitch of makeup on my skin. Nothing. This is my skin because this is the skin that I'm in and I want to feel comfortable in my skin. And that too is abundance. Comfort in ourselves. Permission to be who we desire to be. And as spiritual people, because we are searching for our higher consciousness, because we are always hoping to grow, right? That's what the spiritual path is all about. We have the opportunity to then use our money to help things grow, the things that we want to grow. The final thing that I want to leave you with, which is so vital and so important, is really just to recognize that we all, as spiritual people, we know that spiritual growth is not convenient. It's inconvenient. It's uncomfortable. And sometimes you got to like leave your house to get things instead of just ordering them on Amazon. Because if we're just doing things out of convenience, we're actually sending the wrong message to the universe than what we desire. That's not it. We know that life is inconvenient. Our ancestors survived for hundreds of thousands of years without any of our modern conveniences. They did great. They used magic, they used sound, they used the vibration of abundance to access it in their lives. And it's possible for you too. That looks like being aware of the type of fabrics that we use. Every single thing that is made out of polyester and nylon and rayon is plastic. And every time you wash it, those microplastics are being sent into the waters. Water, again, is the element of our abundance of currency. Water is life. It hydrates and moisturizes and feeds absolutely everything on earth. So if we are poisoning the waters, and waters are the element of our emotions within our body, our sexuality, our creativity, if we are poisoning those waters, if we are toxifying with plastic and chemicals and shitty cleaning products and absolutely everything, then we are sending a message to our waters, to our emotions that say there's something wrong with you. You're not worthy of protecting. You're not worthy of keeping sacred. And again, these are all expressions of scarcity in our modern world that are so imperative for us to awaken to so that we can honor the waters in our body as our blood, our saliva, the moisture behind our eyelids, the fluid in our brains, the emotions that we feel. Again, our sexuality, our creativity, our sensuality, so that we can live as empowered, sovereign, autonomous beings ruled by our own inner authority. This is of the utmost importance. This is why spiritual people have to have abundance. Because if we want to make change in the world, if we want to shift global leadership, it is our obligation to have money and resources. One of my teachers always said, it is the duty of people with money and influence to gain higher consciousness in order to make change. And it is the duty of people with higher consciousness to gain money and influence in order to make change. That's how we change this world, y'all. So if you have been avoiding money or feeling resistant or like, oh, I don't want to need money, like money just buys freedom. Money just buys new choices, different choices, right? If you want to like go and live off grid, like how are you going to buy the land? So outrageous. Like indigenous traditions, there is no owning land. You can't own land. Did you know that the island of Manhattan was bought for $24 worth of trinkets from the Dutch East India Company? And they gave that bullshit amount to the Lenape people because they were like, oh, thank you. This is a gift for you to like be here, but no one can own land. You can't own the earth. And really, like, it's still an absolutely outrageous falsity that we live under the illusion of, but that's how it is. I would love to not have to pay rent, you know? Oh, give me a car for free. I'm a priestess. Like, I'm an oracle. I'm here sharing the message and medicine of the earth. But that's not how it works. It'd be so great if it did. But back in the day, the spiritual people were cared for by their tribes. I mean, everyone was spiritual, right? Everyone is spiritual. We've just forgotten. But the oracles, the shamans, the healers, you know, witches were the doctors of their tribe. They were cared for by everyone in the community inherently. You didn't have to do anything because what you were doing, who you were being, how you were holding yourself was in service. And so people reflected and reciprocated that service to you. So it's time for us to reclaim that exchange for our services, for our gifts, for the fact that we're willing to face our shadows and learn to ride our dragons. Because most people aren't. Most people are really afraid of doing that. And this is, in my opinion, the hardest work you can ever do on the planet, but the most worth it and the most valuable. And that is why spiritual people should be abundant and we should be wealthy, because we are the ones who are going to make the kinds of changes that this beautiful, sacred, holy planet, this living, sentient deity upon whose skin we walk. That's what she deserves from us. And we owe it to her because she's given us absolutely everything and reminds us what true abundance is every day in every way. So again, if you would like to receive my Money Magic Abundance Ritual Spell Experience, me and my team are doing it all together. It's so epic. And I already am just like so obsessed with every single one of the videos. It's all deep, deep embodied magic that I have used to go from broke to rich and abundant in every way, in my community, in my partnership, in my love of myself, in my body, in my health, everything, in my business, with my team. My team is so amazing. I fucking love them. They're so great. My A team, every single person who's on my team's name starts with an A. So I call them my A team, my angels. That's all abundance in so many forms, and you deserve it. So thank you so much for being here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I am Mia Magik, and as always, it is my greatest honor to welcome you to your most magical life.